brought to you by the Wicked and Wicked Koalition. For the 12 tribes scattered worldwide. Shalom. Woolly head, dark skin, son of the Most High, yeah. Sing. YAHOSHUA. Come on back there. Come on. I better get your money tonight. It's me that's a stroke and don't fly. Loosen up your bones too tight. It's okay, it's alright. Here's a message from the 12 lost tribes. The folk can make a sad baby stop crying. Make fish without good start frying. I know you like it once you hear them stop lying. I feel good the more you better just try. It's okay, it's alright. Yeah, it's alright. Oh. Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Whoa. My heavenly Father's children. To the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the 4 corners of the earth, through the slave trade, on ships, to our enemies, who were sold as bondmen and bondwomen, plunged into the depths, degradation, satanic oppression, until we did not know who we were or whose we were. Zion. 400 years of beating us, whipping us, raping us daily, at taking advantage of the old and the young, until we didn't know our last name. We didn't know our home. We no longer knew the name Israel. We didn't know the land. We didn't know our menorah. We no longer knew our scrolls. We no longer knew our history. We no longer knew our prophets. We were separated from our Psalms, our writings. And we developed Stockholm syndrome, where we fell in love and began to envy our oppressors. We wore the slavers' sick and disgusting names on our back. No other people on earth have ever wore the name of their slave masters, human traffickers, slavers. No one has ever wore the trafficker's name on their back. Boy, they got this big old thing going with this whole Epstein thing. Not one person that was survived that island said, oh yeah, make sure you put his name on my back. I'm proud. Since I've been captured, and since I was abused, and since I was tortured, and since I was separated from my homeland, let's make sure now people know that I am now proudly an Epsteinite. I'm an Epstein. But what happened on that island pales in comparison. It don't even remotely match what they did to us every day, Zion, for 400 years here. And after all of this time, still hold themselves not guilty. Slaying us in the street, not guilty. Working us for 400 years with no pay, not guilty. Stealing our land, not guilty. Burning down our businesses, we're not guilty. Perpetual enslavement, not guilty. Racial profiling, not guilty. Shot while driving black, we're not guilty. Separated you into ghettos, flooded your community with drugs. We're not guilty. Okay. Hold on. Now, I got to say something right here. Because my grandmama said, now, I wish I could give credit to everybody that was around me because I grew up all men. Yes, patriarchal. And as a result, I am guilty of absolute toxic masculinity. No apology. My masculinity is toxic. What does that mean? Boy, if you soft and you hang around with the Moreh and you're a boy or a young man, all of a sudden, boy, you're going to get strong. You're going to get strong. You rub off on you. Yeah, oh yeah, it's toxic. If you was thinking female and you hang around with the Moreh and you're a man, you're going to start thinking like a man. I could tell you must have been hanging out with the Moreh. Oh, yes. How can you tell? He's talking about he is real. Talking about he's from the tribe of Yehuda or one of the other royal tribes of Jacob. Talking about, boy, he talking about he ready to get up and be a man like he's supposed to be. Yeah, he don't sit around smoking dope, drinking liquor, and snorting cocaine and playing video games all day. If he hang around the Moreh, no, that ain't gonna happen. You're gonna get your ass up, son. It's toxic masculinity around here. Oh yeah, and don't think you ain't gonna study Torah. You're gonna study Torah. You're gonna be quizzed. You hang around the Moreh. Toxic masculinity. You're gonna pray 3 times a day to Abba Yah, facing Jerusalem. Shema, Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah Echad. Oh yeah. I said, man, what happened to my son? Oh, you hung around with Moreh. What about it? Toxic. It'll rub off on him. All of a sudden, you'll see a fellow buying a house. Next thing you know, he buying a house. A house, yeah, and land. And land, oh yeah, and take care of his family. and standing on truth. Anyway, I was raised around all men, but this thing that I heard didn't come from the men that was around me. But my grandmama said it. When I say grandmama, I don't want y'all to think I'm from a long line of no men. That's not what I'm saying. I just hung out with my grandma sometime. She said, Yosh. She didn't call me, but she had a nickname for me. She said, Yosh. Yeah. She said, I don't care how many drugs they drop off in the community. They can't make you smoke none of it. Ooh. I came from grandma. I had to tell you the truth. She said, they can't make you smoke none of it. And this was in the 80s. Y'all know I grew up, I was in high school in the 80s, business, you know what I'm saying? And then she said, and they can't make you take it and sell it to your people. That was the only drug lesson and speech I ever got. And because it came from her, it was enough. So no, we ain't finna just blame the presence of the drug because somebody had to make a choice to smoke it or to snort it or to shoot it. And somebody made a choice to sell it to their own people. So let's just understand that. Okay. Grandma said, you don't have to smoke it. I don't care if they, this is what she said. She said, I don't care if they back up a dump truck and dump it in your front yard. That's what she said. Grandma said a dump truck and dump it in the front yard. You ain't got to smoke it and you ain't got to sell it. That was enough for the movement. Wise counsel. And guess what? Never have smoked it and never have sold it to my people ever. Then they declared a war on the drugs. Y'all remember that, right? Who? The heathen declared a war on the drugs and never did fight the drugs. They fought the Negro. They fought you. They said it's a war on drugs, and they ain't stopped producing not 1 ounce. No, they fought you. They put us in prison. They put us in jail. They fought us. While at the same time poisoning us, they fought us. That wasn't no war on drugs. Them drug dealers are still getting paid today. It was a war on you in the land of our captivities. And y'all still voting for these people who labeled you a super predator. And still sitting yourself in benches and pews where the preacher got a picture of a pink savior with blonde hair and blue eyes and got y'all bowing down and crying when you see the picture. Whoa! The psychological warfare against our people is on a complete other level. And Isaiah said, the ox know his owner, the ass his master's crib, but my people, Israel, they don't even know who they are. They don't know who owns them. They don't know where their home is. And that's not the worst part. He said the worst part is they don't care. They don't consider it. They don't even, whatever. And Isaiah said, except if it had not been. And I know y'all be like, Ori, where you get this from? Isaiah chapter 1. He said, a very small remnant. That's Bible. If everybody Everybody knows that that's Bible, what I just said. A very small remnant. If y'all know that Bible, wait a minute, let's start off like this. Put a hallelujah 100,000. Wait, more, right? You jump past the 12, 7, 100, 1,000. Yeah, no, because we swinging big bats today. Heavy bat. Put in a 100,000. If you know that the script said, if it had not been for a very small remnant, you would be altogether like Sodom and Gomorrah. What does that mean? Destroyed. This wicked system almost succeeded, is what I want you to say. They almost won. They almost had us all not caring, saying, forget it, we're going with the heathen. I don't want to hear nothing else. They almost had everybody. Wait a minute, hold on. They had me for a minute. Of all people, they had me. I want you to think about that for a moment. They had me. Who? This wicked generation. These heathens. This wicked world. I was a preacher. I was a pastor in a Baptist church. 20 days, not no 20 months. 21 years. In my 21 years, I pastored 3 churches. But I kept one church that I organized. I kept one church forever. They had me all over the world preaching and teaching. I think back on that, boy, it makes me so sick. I said, woo! But hallelujah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Let me get to my hallelujah point. But hallelujah, that same Isaiah said, just as Yah had waved his hand to scatter us because of our disobedience, and just as Yah allowed the heathen to dispossess us, he said, that remnant, he said, that very small remnant I'm talking about, he said, I'm going to wave my hand again. No. Yes, he did. He said, I'll do it. Ain't nobody going to reach out to my people and save them. I'll do it. He said, I wave my hand a second time, and when I do it this time, I'm going to recover them. Where? From everywhere they've been scattered, including America's. Wait a minute. And you go far as you want to from the Holy Land. I keep telling people, I'm in California, right? I tell people, look, after me is the Pacific Ocean. Boy, he had to reach a long ways from Jerusalem. Boy, look, if he decided, you know, I ain't gonna keep reaching, I'd have never been reached because I'm the last reach. After this is water for 1,500, 2,000 miles of water. He reached and said, wait a minute, there's one on the coast, right there on the water. Get him. He pastored a big old church. Tell him he's his. Tell him he is Israel. And let's see what he do. Show him that he's the people of the book, and let's see if he'll be willing to give up the church, his reputation. Let's see if he'll be willing to withstand the storm of pastors talking about behind his back. Let's see what happens when he loses church, loses big fat salaries, and lose all his friends, and lose his family, and lose his. Let's see what he'll do. They was watching. I know it. Well, look, and the devil was watching. Ooh, Hasatan. I think he's told him that if you do that, he'll curse you. But see, y'all knew something that the enemy didn't know, including the human enemies. They didn't know something about me. They didn't know that my call was real. I got called when I was a teenager. When the Most High called me, he scared me to death. I went to judgment on the call. Didn't even know what it was. Didn't know what I was seeing then. All I know is it was so terrible I didn't want to see it again. That's all I know. I knew my heart was racing 1,000 miles an hour after he showed it to me. I know that much. And I know my daddy didn't have no answer because I sure went straight to my daddy. I said, Daddy, I don't know what happened to me just now. He said, son, if you don't get yourself back in the bed, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I said, I bet that, but you didn't talk back to your parents in them days. I tried to go back to bed, boy. The Most High touched me again. I hit that door. Dad, in them days, you didn't just walk in on your dad. I knocked on the door. I said, Dad. He said, boy, what? Y'all talking to me. I was 17. And I thought he was just trying to get me to, at that time, Christianity. So what did I do? I started studying. And started church and did all that. See, I keep saying my call was real. That's why I tell y'all, when you come in the room with the Moreh, right? Y'all didn't choose me to be the Moreh, to be a Moreh. You didn't choose me. Nobody voted on me. Nobody got together and said, we all have chosen YAHOSHUA to be our Moreh. No, that's not what happened. Y'all chose me and told me, get behind them cameras and lights and just tell them what I tell you, and I will bring the people. Don't worry about that part. That's not your worry. That's not your concern. I'll bring the people. And I know you're worried about how you're going to eat. I'm going to make sure I put you and your staff and your people, I'm going to make sure I put y'all on their heart. And when I put you on their heart, they're going to feel akin to you. Just like you're going to feel akin to them. And they're going to feel responsible to help make sure that the ARK is eating and paying bills, just like you're going to feel responsible to make sure that the remnant is being fed the Torah. I'm going to make it an exchange. And some of y'all been with me so long, you like, Moreh ain't lying. He did it. Oh, yes, I ain't no joke about that now. I lived it. Wait, hold on. I'm living it. I only made a couple of real mistakes. I'm talking about big mistake. One of them was thinking that everybody was going to be excited to find out who they are and whose they are. That was one of my mistakes. That was a big mistake. I thought, because I was really called to preach and I always wanted the truth. I never wanted to teach lies. I questioned everything in the so-called churches. I questioned it. But because I believed that these people knew more of the Bible than me, I was like, okay, well then I'm gonna go with what I believe is right. But I questioned, right? But when I realized that the people that were teaching me were wrong, and I ain't talking about that of their opinion, I'm talking about wrong enough to go to hell behind being wrong. When I found out it was a conspiracy, when I found out that their being wrong was not because of an accident, but that they had all knew the truth and chose the wrong. When I saw that, I said, damn. That's what I did. When I was showing the script, and they would say, I already know that. What you mean you know? Oh yeah, I was shown that years ago. But what'd you do? Shoot, I just kept preaching. Hold on now. The souls of the house of Israel are at stake. And you telling me you blew that off, that you was Israel? You didn't want to listen? And you got a name on your back that come from a slaver and a raper and a killer and a monster who beat your ancestors for 400 years, and you're not interested in knowing whether or not that name is really your name? That don't mean nothing to you? Couldn't do it. I couldn't understand that. That was one of the big mistakes. I thought that the people would be happy, especially the leaders, would be happy that one of them had discovered the truth of who we are and whose we are. I thought that was going to be something that was going to be just turn the world around. Like, boy, once everybody see this, and all of the people and all the churches and all the pastors start preaching the truth to our people, boy, oh, happy day. The churches are going to turn around. They're going to be singing songs right. They're going to call him by his real name, YAHOSHUA. They're going to give him praise. They're going to bow before the king. They're going to start keeping the laws, statutes, and the commandments. That's what I believe. I say, oh boy, their diet's going to change. They're going to be healthier. They're going to be happier. When they study the Torah, their financial situation will change because they're going to give tithes. They're going to give offerings. But according to the Bible and not according to pastors' alligator shoes or his money dollar lines and all that. No, they're gonna come out that foolishness, and they're gonna put Yah first. They're gonna learn Torah. They're gonna straighten up their finances. Then they're gonna straighten up their food situation. They're gonna be healthy. They're gonna be wealthy. They're gonna study. They're gonna get more wisdom, knowledge. I said, oh boy, this is the key to life. And instead of them doing that, they wrote a letter. Some of them Negroes that wrote letters on me sneak listen to me when I'm preaching. They know they did it and still ain't apologized. But I was right. No, I am right. They wrong. And the Most High told me, speak to the remnant. You keep trying to talk to the whole world. Speak to the remnant. Tell the remnant. They'll hear you. And look, I keep getting behind these cameras and lights, and y'all know that I have done my best to be faithful to you. And I've been making mistakes. When I find out I make a mistake, I fix the mistake the next day. Sometimes I fix it the same day, depending on what it was. Why? Because we're learning together. We're growing together. Hebrew is a new language for me. I got to learn it like a child in kindergarten. I ain't ashamed to say it. What's the first letter? Aleph. What does it mean? Ox. Strength. What does it represent? Leadership, power, authority, the ability to teach. I had to learn it just like that. It was the largest domesticated animal among our people. It was used like a tractor. It was represented the fact that you were able to provide for your family if you had an ox, because you could plow the field and grow the grain, which represents bread, which also represents the word of Yah. So therefore, the Aleph is the silent letter. It's the powerful letter. I had to learn it just like that. Okay, next letter. What's a bet? I had to sit down and a bet is a house. It represented a tent structure. The house not only represents just one little building, but it also represents primarily a family. And that family is represented as a unit. So the house is not only an individual house, but it's also a house of brothers and sisters. It's also a house of a nation, of a people. That house can also be represented as a complete nation. It could be the army. It could be a host of people. It's the house. And it's, I had to learn it. I had to learn it. Why? We didn't grow up speaking it. They stole our language from us and gave us this old dirty, nasty slavery language that we have now. Every time I think about the fact that I'm speaking in tongues, this old nasty, dirty tongue. Yes, Maury, do you speak in tongues every time I talk? This is a foreign language. This is a foreign tongue. Yes, I'm speaking in tongues. My original language is Hebrew. But it's English. So yeah, I'm trying to learn the real. So yeah, on the way, I'm learning it. I make some mistakes. People call me, scholars call me. Hey, man, don't you look at that again? If I see it, I'm going to fix it. Because I am not here to promote myself. I'm here to promote my King. To lift him up. To give him the praise and the honor and the glory for calling us out of the darkness into the light. Now let me get into this because I've been talking for like 30 minutes and I'm already ready to get out the room. I've already got my happy shout on just being with you all on this Holy Shabbat. If you all have already enjoyed being in the room, once again, put a hallelujah 1,000 in the chat. Put a 1,000 and support the work through the tithes and the offerings. We, look, especially in these times, y'all already know. I don't have to say nothing about how rough it is out there. And some of y'all who may not live like in California or one of the other major cities, it might not be affecting you right now. But those of us who live outside of that, boy, in these, the prices is just ridiculous. The house and the cost of living is unbelievable. And so therefore, your support is greatly needed during this time. And I realize that also the word of Yah is greatly needed. So I'm not asking you all to support and then I don't support you back. And what you all give, I make sure that what my portion of it and more is put back into the work, back into the kingdom to help other people. You can bank on that part. Hallelujah. 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 Shalom. Once again, everybody that's in the room. Maury, why'd you go into all that for 30 minutes? I'm going to tell you why. Because just a couple of days ago, our people as a whole worshiped Satan. Just a few days ago, our people bowed down in front of a phallus, a picture of a male penis. That's what a phallus is. That's what that tree represents. It represents a male penis. Our people, men, brought that into their house and put gifts under the tree and would not let their children touch it, the gifts, unless they bowed their knees at that tree. They had to worship the penis. They had to bow at the tree to get a gift. It's phallus worship. It's satanic. And I told them, don't do it. But our people, they sottish, which means they slow. They stupid. They're retarded. They got issues. All they could see is the silver bells. All they could see is the gold. All they could see is the old Christmas tree. How lovely are your branches. And just like satanic mosquitoes and moths, they're drawn to those lights. The lights, the music, the tree, the gifts. I mean, oh, damn. I'm trying to help my people. Turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. That thing right there is going to kill you. Don't do it. You're drawn to the wrong light. That's not the right. That's an artificial, false light. Don't do it. That light, I'm telling you, it's killing you and it's killing your family. They ain't going to listen to the moral ring. They just kept heading toward it. I was over Yahrhn's house. I don't even know if he's in the room yet. But I was over hanging out with Yahrahn. It's been a while back now. We were sitting outside. We were chopping it up. Talking about Israel, obviously. And without even thinking, Yahrahn picked up this thing that looked like almost like a tennis racket. I don't have nothing in here like that. Oh, yes, I do. Hold on. We talking, right? And we going back and forth. And then Yahrahn hold up this thing, right? And he had a button on the bottom. He pushed the button like this. And the top of it lit up. Once it lit up, I heard that. I was like, what the hell is that? He said, oh, nothing more, man. It's just a bug zapper. I said, it's a what? Yahrahn got all these gadgets, right? He said, it's a bug zapper. He said, all I have to do is hold it. I said, you ain't got to swat it? He said, no, you ain't got to swat it. He said, you just got to hold it. He said, push the button, and the bugs are drawn, they'd be drawn to this. And then they're out of here. Zap, zap, pop out, tap, 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 tap. Now, this is a little diabolical. Yahrahn, if you don't get no bigger, you already know that. But I said to myself, he almost seemed to enjoy this. Is he in the room? I said, man, it looked like I ain't gonna say nothing, but he was doing it so much, man. I said, hey, man, let me see that thing. And boy, I hit the button, the light came on, and here come the bugs, zap, zap, zap. I said, boy, ain't this something? And that's what Christmas and Easter, that's all the devil got to do. That's all Satan and Satan's children got to do is turn on some lights, put some candy, draw you to it, and here you come like a dumbass bug. Whap! And our people, as a result, lost milk. That YouTube ain't no joke. I don't know what time he come in at the same time. The YouTube, I don't understand why. Man, I'm just telling a story. You interrupted me. You freezing my frame. Why? You don't like my story of the heathen holding up these fake and artificial lights, killing my people, drawing them to the light like a bug, and then when it's all said and done, you done zap billions of dollars out of their accounts. You don't want me to tell them that? Mr. YouTube man, you done caused so many fights. People so mad they didn't get what they wanted. Families done broke up over this foolishness. Our children are struggling. It's hard to even pay the rent, hard to pay the bill. And yet we spent billions during this time because we was drawn to some satanic light that you put up. But you don't want me to tell my people that you had them worshiping a phallus, a satanic Saturnalia service. You don't want me to tell the people that many folk was committing adultery, fornication, all manner of wicked. You don't want me to tell the people that some people got pregnant that they now gonna plan to do something about that in a few days? You don't want me to tell them that? And some people died, they got drunk, and some people got shot at party. So I can't tell them what happened at Saturnalia. You too, leave me alone. I didn't create Saturnalia. Your people did. And I'm trying to tell my people that you enjoyed watching us kill ourselves. You enjoyed it. You enjoyed the wrecks and the crashes on the road. You enjoyed us being stuck and can't travel. You enjoyed that. You enjoyed us fussing and fighting. You enjoyed us eating pots of abomination that you know is going to result in us having to spend more money in your hospitals. And you ain't going to never tell us that the problem is our diet. You enjoyed that, didn't you? You killed all manner of swine flesh and shoved it down our throat. But just like my grandmama said, you didn't have to do it, Zion. I don't care how many pigs they put on the table. You ain't got to take one bite. I don't care how many shrimps and roaches they pile up on the plate. Walk out. And you don't have to hustle this poison to your people. Woo! And the Most High told me to tell you that the remnant is going to understand it. And they're going to wake up and get out of that wickedness because they can see it for what it really is. And one of the things that these heathens did, they violated Deuteronomy 12 and had nerve to blend into Saturnalia the birth of our King YAHOSHUA, which makes it exceedingly wicked. They knew you was coming if they put white Jesus in the store. I'm sorry, keep saying white. I'm trying to get rid of that. They knew that you'd be drawn to the light if they put pink Jesus, a pink Jesus in the story from Europe. They knew you would be here. Oh, here you come. Ain't that the picture that we're supposed to be bowing down to? Yes, don't worry. Then it's not all about Santa Claus. It's about pink Jesus is the reason for the season. Who? Pink Jesus is the reason for the season. So they put a picture of pink Jesus on that zapper. Turn the light on. You see a little pink baby, little pink mama, a pink daddy, in a manger with animals carrying around. And y'all like, well, it must be my Lord and Savior. Zap! Got you. And they laughing. Now, the difference between you and that bug, you and the mosquito, you and the moth, you and all them biting flies. The difference is the flies would have a better excuse in the judgment than you. The mosquitoes would be able to stand in the judgment better than you. The mosquito was standing in the judgment and saying, I was made to be drawn to the light. And I was going, and no other mosquito tried to stop me. No other bug told me to turn around. No other bug said, hey man, look, I've been watching whole families get destroyed behind this wickedness. Don't do it. No, nobody told me. I was just drawn to the light. And before I knew it was too late. Okay, then guess what? The mosquito, you might get a little bit of mercy. But look, you Hebrew Israelites in the captivity, you get none in the judgment. Because I told you, I've been standing here warning you for over 15 years. And not just me. I think this year there were more videos and shorts and movies and studies, not only with us, but even with the heathens that now trying to punch, they trying to get into the kingdom through Israel. I saw more people warning people against this satanic behavior than I ever saw in my life. They had scripts and everything. And if you push through that and did it anyway, the blood will be required on your hands. If y'all still rolling with the Morehyosh, put a 10,000 in the chat. I said the blood will be on you. It will not be on me. You ain't going to be able to do that in the judgment. That's the one thing you ain't going to be able to do. You ain't going to be able to say, you know what, I never would have participated in Satanism if somebody would have just told me. So what do you mean somebody? Yosh told you? I mean somebody else. What's wrong with Yosh? He's a nigger. Huh? He's a nigger. So you going to hell because I use a so-called nigger, to tell you the truth. But that's what you're going to take to, is that what you're going to take into the kingdom? I'm just going to tell you like this. Good luck with that. You can't get over that. That's your problem. Everybody in here who tried to tell you is a so-called nigger. Everybody in here is what you call a so-called nigger. So no, you ain't got no excuse. So in the time we have left, Dr. Yoshiyahu that we've been in Israel is going to set the record straight once again. Because the remnant got to get it. Matthew, his name is Netanyahu. Netanyahu, chapter 2, beginning at verse 1, you Israelites. And when I say Israelites, I ain't talking about no Europeans. Don't put me in that category. I could care less about what these other people are doing. That's their business. When I use the word Israelite, I'm talking about the biblical descendants, 12 tribes scattered through the slave trade, ran out of Jerusalem in 70 AD, waking up to the truth in these last days, to who we are and whose we are. That's what I'm talking about, just in case you want to know who my target audience is, because Mr. YouTube is in the room, and so is the chat bot. I could care less about anybody coming down out of Europe talking about they are whoever they think they are. That's their business. That ain't my business. That's their business. I'm talking to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what I was sent to. I'm sent to the remnant. Now, when YAHOSHUA, boy, they say, hallelujah. Let me give y'all a chance. Oh, you agree with the Morehyosh. Put a 200,000 in the chat. Put a 200,000. Let's make sure the whole world understands it. Yes. Yeah, I'll give you a chance to shout. I'll give you a chance to give your praise to the Most High Yah. That's why we're in the room together. You're not going to hear this kind of preaching nowhere in nobody's church, I promise you. If they preach like I'm preaching, I keep telling you, they would be fired before the morning. because they're not called, they're hirelings. But you can't fire somebody who ain't never been hired by you. And plus, I ain't going to hell for you. I'm not going to do that rant right now. I'm not going to get on that soapbox. But you better know something. If you first time listener in this chat, if you first time in the chat, or you just now seeing the Moreh for the first time, and you say, man, I ain't never heard nobody talk like him. I ain't never heard nobody preach like this. Never in my life. And I don't understand it. Let me call him because let me tell y'all something about me. Right now, I am not going to hell for nobody. I do not love you that much. Just understand that. It's not a joke. That's not a fable. I'm not kidding. I'm telling you what y'all love. Not one of y'all can make me compromise the word of Yah for you. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have, houses and land. I don't care how many boats you present, how many hoes, boats and hoes. It don't matter. I'm not going to hell for no boats. I ain't going to hell for no hoes. I'm not going to hell for no silver, no gold, nothing. So if you ever think that your influence is ever going to do that, you can forget it. Now, if you want to support the work of the Ark, shalom, Todah Rabbah. But please don't think that I'm one of these preachers on somebody's payroll that you can control with your pocketbook. No, you did that in church. You used to tell Yah in church, Yah, if you keep him humble, we'll keep him poor. Y'all was wicked. Go in the back room and cut up the preacher's money. And then every deacon, everybody get a little cut. And then threaten red. Boy, you Sanhedrin counsel you Pharisaical counsel you. Boy, y'all used to do it. Poor pastor sitting there after he done prayed, waiting for his check. I'm just waiting for them to come out the back room. What you waiting on? They haven't given my check yet. Who haven't given you a check yet? What? Never. With the more, never. No, I don't work like that. No. So I just want to put that out. Look, in order to be a preacher in today, I'm talking about a real preacher. In today's day, you have to be willing to preach what is the absolute truth. And like I told y'all before, let the chips fall where they may. These preachers can't do that because if one of the chips, okay, I told you it's an illustration of chopping wood. Back in the day, they used to chop down wood with an axe. The young man, he was chopping, he hit the wood, and he was worried about where the chips were falling. Every time he hit it, they would fall, and he was looking around. And the person that had hired the young man said, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" And he was like, I look at these damn chips falling everywhere. I was just thinking about it. He said, hey, don't worry about that. He said, you focus on chopping down that tree and let the chips fall where they may. That's not your focus, not where them chips is falling. Your focus is cutting down that tree. My focus is giving you the Torah, giving you the word of Yah, and explaining it to you the way it's supposed to be explained. And I can't do that worrying about where these chips is flying. Now if y'all still in the room with the Moreh, we all should be on Matthew chapter 2 by now. If you are, put a 300,000. Put a 300,000. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 says, look at them 200,000. Hallelujah. Now when YAHOSHUA, ain't no white Jesus, ain't no pink Jesus, I keep saying white. Boy. I'm gonna get that out of my system. There are no such thing as a pink Jesus that come out of somebody's imagination. It's just a figment of some European's imagination. He's a brown Hebrew Israelite with a brown mama. Joseph was brown from the tribe of Yehuda. All of the Magi, everybody, many of these brown people. YAHOSHUA. He was born in Bethlehem. He was not born in the Ukraine. He wasn't born in the Caucasus Mountains. He wasn't born in Khazaria. He wasn't born in Germany or France. No, he's born in Africa. Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men. What kind of men, Moses? Wise. Oh yeah, we're going to fix it for the world. These men that came from the east were wise. That means they were smart. Matter of fact, they were super smart. They're smarter than any European. Why? Because Europe didn't come here. These men came from the east. Where's that from? That's our land. Remember, Abraham come up out of Ur of the Chaldees, which what we would call today Babylon or the East. They call it Middle East now. That heathen man is weird. He will change. That heathen will change anything he wants to at any time, just like Hasatan. The question that nobody asks, I have to ask them for you. I'm going to ask the questions for you. So you should write these things down. The Bible said they come from the east. The Europeans said that land is the Middle East. So which one is it? Is it the East or the Middle East? The Middle East is a construction and an invention of pink European supremacy. It is not biblical. The East refers to the east of the continent. The east of the continent that we call Africa today, which probably is more likely Ophir in the Bible. It also represented all of Africa from the, I'm just using the term because it's common, from the Atlantic Ocean all the way over. It's all the way through the east. So it's east of what? It's East Africa. They came from East Africa, not the Middle East. The middle of what? What's on the other side of the east? The north or the southeast? Why they only got a Middle East? Heathens do that. Just like they always want to use the term Asia Minor. We're having an Asia Major. Don't do it more. Okay, I'm just saying that European man, that dude is on another level when it comes to things. These people came from Africa. The Suez Canal that's built right over there to this day, right, is a man-made structure. That place is a one continuous landmass, which that's what makes a landmass a continent. Well, I was doing the research on this. I ain't done with the research. I'm doing a Bible study on this, and I'm working on it, right? And I thought Chat was gonna start smoking dope on me. I said, hey, Chat, you won't stop lying to me. Well, I was arguing with Google, I argued with Chat. I'm like, why do you guys keep answering me with these dumbass answers? Because they're used to people that use this AI. They're used to people don't know anything. So they. That's why I told you all, you need to stay away from Chat. Chat is very dangerous. They have been bought. They've been bought by the enemy, by the wicked ones. and they're pushing an agenda. I asked a simple question: what is a continent? And it gave me the answer. And I said, then how is it then that what you say is the Middle East, how is that not a part of this continent based on your definition of a continent? And then they start going into philosophical continents and geographical and political lines and all that. I'm like, ain't this, what the hell's happening here? It's a simple answer. Yes, it's the continent. That's all you had to say. You're going to tell me that Middle East is something different? No, it's because you want to make it different. Now, I'm going to go forward. I just wanted to bring this out. These people are from the same continent. They're from the East, which most likely means they were from the area of Babylon. Remember that on the west of where we were, if you go west, you would be in Egypt. It's the closest major nation, would be Egypt. In those days, if you go east of Jerusalem, then your closest neighbor is going to be that whole area, the Babylonian area, what now is Iran, Iraq, and all those other places, Syria, Lebanon, all that. Well, that's kind of to the north. But anyway, that area right there, anything on that side would be considered east. So watch. These people are east of Jerusalem. Verse 2. Most likely, they have been taking notes for a long time, possibly thousands of years. More, I'm telling you. Watch. This is what they said when they got there. Let me tell you the real truth. Forget what they showed you in church yesterday and what they've been teaching you your whole life. Let me show you what really happened. Verse 2. Saying, where is he that is born king of the Yehudim? Did you see that? Everybody write that in the chat. Write in the chat, born king. Write it. Everybody write that in the chat. Born king. There have never been in the history of all humanity anyone born king. No, you are born a prince. And as you grow up as a prince, you must be considered by the people the future king. Because you're not born king, you're born a prince. And once you go through your training as the prince, when you get to a certain age, then the people will gather around and have a ceremony. When the king dies, they will have a ceremony and you will replace the king. So you move from prince to king. Well, what if the king is dead? It don't matter. Y'all saw in England that they had that woman over there call herself a queen for damn near 70 years. I was like, damn, illegitimate as illegitimate could be. Boy, when you do the research on that and go down that rabbit hole and find out who her real people are, you're going to be like, Moray, no way. How did you know that? I just study things. I'm like, where did she actually come from? Come to find out, man, she is so illegitimate. But that's not my message, right? But she had sons. And while she was alive, not one of them sons could be called king. They weren't born king. They were born princes, and they nasty. They dirty. Boy, they wicked. But they had to wait. They had to wait. Boy, and that one, boy, Chucky, boy, he was like, man, that old bag ain't gonna never die. Chucky, he said, well, what's going on here? I'm gonna be dead before she get up out of here. All illegitimate. But I just want to show you something. Is that you're not born king. You don't hear that phrase until you get here. Where? In our book. When you get in our book, now you're talking about our king. He's different. Our king don't have to start off as a young prince and then wait for his daddy to die, or start off as a young prince and wait for his mama to die to become the king. That ain't the Bible. And that's not our king. He's different. I promise you he's different. They said, we want to know where the one is born king of the Yehudim. I told you we don't do the word Jew here. We don't believe in that word. We know there's no J. These are the Yehudim. These are the people of the book. He said, where is the king? Where is the one born king of the Yehudim? If y'all saw that, put a 400,000. I can't stay in the room all day. I've been in here over time already. But did you see that part? They say, where is he that is born king? Our king is different. What do you mean by that, Moray? He's not chosen by the people. He's not elected by the people. He's not crowned and given a scepter by the people. Even according to the Bible, Isaiah tells us that our king is not even the people's choice. No, he's born king. And I know what y'all thinking, wait, more, right? I've already learned more hanging out with you on this Shabbat than I learned my whole life in church. Believe that. That's gonna happen to you forever. You come in this room. They can't teach what I'm teaching. The reason why is because I'll get to that in the sermon later. I'm gonna get to that in a moment. I'm gonna show you why they can't do what I'm doing. He said, the question is, how do you know that the king is born? That somebody was born the king? Watch. The responses are, y'all. Because for we, who? The wisest men ever. Some of the smartest men ever breathe oxygen. Righteous men. Those of us that are in deep, deep study and trying to unravel the parts of the Torah that we have. Because you do know at one point we held the house of Israel in captivity for 70 years. And while we held them in captivity, you know, we held Daniel, right? Remember, we held Hananiah and Azariah and Micaiah. We had those guys with us, right? You remember that? I'm like, yeah. I remember Daniel interpreted dreams and stuff, but do you remember when he said, when he told the king that he told that the heavens do rule? So yeah. So we start looking at the heavens. What? Yeah, he told us about numbers and seasons and times and dates. And we wrote it down. Because was that Darius? Remember, he made a declaration after Daniel was thrown in the lion's den. If I have the name wrong, y'all fix it for me. He said, Daniel's Elohim, Yahuwah, is Elohim throughout the whole world. That was a declaration from the king at this time, from the East. We ain't talking about these Europeans at all. Please understand me, I ain't never talking about them. I'll show you where they come into the script. But for now, we're going to go, you saw his what? They said, we saw his star. And I'm trying to figure this out. I'm like, y'all not even from here. And you saw his star. How? How do you even know there was a star? Come go with me. Now, this is the first reason that the heathen churches and these pseudo religionists and these whorehouses, these spiritual whorehouses that our people are going through. This is one. Because in the spiritual whorehouse, they say the Old Testament been done away with. And we're in the New Testament now. So that's why they can't do what I'm doing. This is a covenant we're in. And it can't be done away with. It's renewed. And of course, eventually it becomes ratified, but it can't be done away with. Pastor. Let's go into Torah. Where are we going? Let's go into Numbers. Come on, go. Boy, if y'all don't come go with me to Numbers, where are we going? Numbers 24. Yes, in the book they told you not to look in. We looking at the whole Bible. None of the Bible's off limits for us at the Awakening Remnant Koalition. We were sent here for such a time as this to show the house of Israel the absolute truth. In Numbers, chapter 24, what? A prophet that was preaching for Yah, that was outside of the house of Israel, Yah had called him to preach. And yeah, but he was a heathen. But he was actually at one time, he was a real preacher. He got hired by a king in the east. He hired the man. He said, hey man, I need you to curse the house of Israel. Balaam, that was his name. Balaam said, I can't. And Balak said, what you mean you can't? He said, I can't. Well, have you even tried? You don't have to try. I can't do it. Because every time I get ready to preach, every time I open my mouth, truth come out. The real truth about the house of Israel comes out of my mouth. I can't curse them. So what do you end up doing? I remember one time he called Balaam in. He said, hey, bud, what did you know on the phone? Hey, man, look, put Balaam on the phone. Balaam said, what's up? He said, hey, man, look here, dude. Hey, we got an agreement, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I told you to curse the house of Israel. And I'm not saying the people lying or nothing, but what I heard was through the grapevine, through our informants. What I heard was through surveillance. What I heard was you at that church blessing them. I heard you bless them. And then Balaam said, okay, before you send your goons on me and be trying to shut me up, remember when you called me and asked me if I would curse the people? You remember that conversation? Balak said, yes. He said, what did I tell you? I told you that even if I try to curse whom Yah has blessed, before it can get out of my mouth as a curse, it will turn into a blessing. Didn't I tell you that is just, I cannot curse them. And this went on until finally, boy, it got hot between Balaam and Balak. This is one of the times that he was supposed to go out and curse the house, but he couldn't. Yah took over his mouth and he ended up blessing him. This is one of them. It says, ooh, you know what? I just made an executive decision. Let's start at verse 10. I was going to just read the one verse. Let's start at verse 10. Numbers 24, verse 10. And Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he smote his hands together. And Balak said to Balaam, I called you to curse my enemy, and behold, you have altogether blessed them 3 times. Therefore now flee thou to thy place. I thought to promote thee to great honor, but lo, Yahuwah has kept thee back from honor. And Balaam said to Balak, and Balaam said unto Balak, spake I not also to thy messengers, which thou sendest unto me, saying, if Balak will give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of Yahuwah to do either good or bad of my own mind. But what Yahuwah said, that I will speak. And behold, and now behold, I go unto my people. Come therefore, and I will advise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. What? He said, man, look, okay, I'm going to go home. He said, because Balak is the king that's hiring this fake preacher. Oh, he's a real prophet, but he's a sellout. I'll get to that in a second. So he got this dude, and he told him to go home, man. Look, I'm 3 times. You done fake 3 times. He said, okay, look, I'll leave. But before I go out, let me tell you about what these people right here that you're trying to get me to curse. Let me tell you what they are going to do to y'all in the last days. Do you see it? If y'all seen it, like you ain't never seen it before, woo-wee. Wait a minute, hold on. Put a 14 in there for verse 14. Why? Truth. I told you all, I'm in here for one reason, show you the Bible. Give you Torah, so you can see it like you've never seen it before. You can come out of that darkness and that wickedness, and you can begin to walk in the marvelous light of who you are and whose you are. You're going to be through with all this paganism in a minute, but you got to start now. He said, let me show you what this people is going to do to your people. When? When it's over. And he took up this parable and said, Balak the son of Beor hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said, and he said, which heard the words of Yah and knew the knowledge of the Most High. Watch. Which saw the vision of the Almighty. Which saw the vision of the Almighty. Oh, yes, that's our left. The Almighty falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. He said, now look, man, I'm finna tell you right now, my eyes are open. I'm telling you, what I saw it. And what I'm finna say it in your face. And I'm finna tell you again, you're gonna hear what I got to say about this. And this is concerning your people. And no, this ain't coming from me. This is coming from Almighty. And when he got ready to talk, he fell into a trance, but his eyes were still open. I said, what? Oh, yes. I shall see him. You shall see who? Him. When? Not now. I'm going to see him. Just not now. I shall behold him, but not yet. There shall come a star. Y'all like, Ray, how'd you look that up? It's the Bible. A star. That's going to be your marker. A star. There shall come a star. Where? Out of Jacob. What does that mean? That these people, these Israelites that you're trying to curse, is going to produce a star. Don't worry. What do you mean? You heard me. Idiomatically speaking, it speaks of one that is going to be lifted up as the king. The star equals king. Do you see it? If you do put a 500,000, the word star here in Hebrew and in our culture, this culture knew that a star was a king. A king is coming, is what he told him. He's like, boy, Jacob about to produce a king. When? Today? No, not now. Well, when? Tomorrow? But it ain't got, but it's coming. And you gonna see him. And unfortunately, I gotta see him too. Because now I gotta go to hell because I'm on your payroll. Now I gotta bust hell wide open because I'm following you and I'm working for you. And I'm trying to curse the house of Israel. And now the Most High done hit me over my head, knocked me out, but kept my eyes open and made me see his king. The Most High is going to make me stand in front of the king of the house of Israel that you're trying to get me to curse. And every eye will see him. You better understand that. And every knee will bow to him. And every tongue will confess. Why? And a scepter shall rise out of Israel. A scepter? That is the shepherd's staff. That's the ruling. That staff can be used to bless the sheep. It could be used to kill the enemy. It represents ultimate authority. It represents the last say. And Balak said, boy, y'all, you want me? I'm finna tell you, man, what's gonna happen to you and me. I'm gonna see him. We're gonna be destroyed. That's the real record. Because a king is coming and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy the children of Sheth, and Edom shall be a possession. What? Oh yeah. Edomites is out of here. Seir will be a possession for his enemies, and Israel will do valiantly. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion. No, it's in the Bible. See it? Dominion. And shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Where are they from? They're from the east. These nations are fighting, trying to get against Israel. That's true house. I ain't talking about no Europeans right now. And he said, oh, the star's coming. The king is coming from them. And he ain't just no random star. Okay. The other day, boy, it tickled me. Javon called me. He don't know that his daddy been looking at this Bible a long time before he was born. But it's encouraging to me to watch him study and grow and come up with information. Because all the younger generation hopefully can take it further than we took it. That's the whole point. We lay down the foundation, and hopefully the next generation can keep pushing it, right? Javon called me on the phone. He said, Dad. I said, what? Studying Torah got me looking at the stars. What did you say? Man, studying Torah got me looking at the stars. I said, for real? He said, yeah, Pops. Man, do you know that the story is written up there? I said, yes, sir. The story been up there. See what he don't know that before he was born, I read that the heavens declare the glory of Yah. Yeah. Been knowing that, son. Now you take it further now. But I've been knowing that. How you know, Pops? Well, I drive up to the mountain. I look up. That's why. I go where there ain't no city lights. And when I look up there, not at 100, not at 1,000. And I see millions of them, stars, millions. And the Bible said that he made the stars also, which means I heard a preacher say, it almost sounds like the making of the stars was so easy to Yah. It was almost a footnote in his teaching on the creation story. Oh yeah, and by the way, he made the stars also. And I'm looking up into heaven and I'm going, what? And then the psalmist say, not only did he make them, but he calls them. He calls them by their names, which means he named them. Every one of them. And the one thing that even the scientists today have to confess is every one of them is different. Paul looked up and saw the stars. He said, there are different bodies up there. Don't just see white. There are different bodies up there. A star. When Yah wrote it, when he declared the glory and wrote it up yonder, he put it where human hands can't reach. I know this is going over your head, but he put it so high that even the most wicked can't tiptoe and touch. He wrote it so high above our head that NASA cannot create a vessel that can travel up there and do nothing. He put it out of the reach of an Elon Musk. With all of your millions and your billions and maybe even trillions, you cannot leave here and mess up the message that's up yonder. No, that's what you can't do. You can't retell that story. The heavens declare the glory of Yahrahn. And you heathen have taken the heavens, and instead of you reading and seeing the glory of Yah, you flipped it and made it satanic. So now when you look into the heavens, you see Satan, your daddy. You see Hasatan, the fallen angel. You worship the stars. You worship the moon. You worship the sun. You worship Venus. You worship Saturn. You worship Mars. You worship Uranus. And that's one of the things about you heathens. For some reason, y'all is into Uranus. That's like your favorite planet, ain't it? Everywhere you go, you got to make sure that every culture is into Uranus. Yeah, you went up there and messed up, trying to mess up our story. No. Man, let me tell you something. One thing you ain't going to do, you can change the names, you can try to redo the symbols, you can try to make it, but let me tell you what you can't do. You can't tamper with it. It's above your head. And when Balaam told Balak that the star's coming, he wasn't just talking figuratively. He wasn't just talking figuratively. He wasn't just talking spiritually. He was talking actually. And ever since then, what them heathens start writing it down. Wait. Hold on now. You say he got a star? Yeah. It comes out of Israel. So, okay. All right, well. And he gonna do what? He gonna kill all of y'all. That's what he gonna do. He gonna possess all the land. When? Now that part I don't know. But you sure he coming? Yes, I'm sure of it. Is it gonna be tomorrow? I don't really know. I don't think it's coming tomorrow. Well, then when is he coming? Hey, calm down. He'll be here. And you're gonna sing too. And so will I. Unfortunately, I gotta face him as a sellout. If y'all still rolling with the moral rate, put a 600,000. I must press on to my close. His star would rise in East Africa. This is not mythology, you heathens. This is not church doctrine that come out of European mouths and European books. This has no European people influence at all. None, zero. What is it, Moray? Because of time, I'm going to have to press faster. His star was most likely a divinely timed royal astronomical sign. See it again. I know it's a long line. His star was most likely a divinely timed royal astronomical sign. Now, 2 words, let me fix for you. Astronomy is different than astrology. It's different. Astronomy is different than astrology. The heathen and our captors have only given us astrology. Just get that in your head. All you ever have seen in the sky or ever been taught anything has only been astrology. I don't care what their class was. They never taught you astronomy, ever. They can't teach it. What do you mean you can't teach it? Because if they teach it, they got to go against everything that they believe and everything they know. They have to go against all evolution. They got to go against everything. They can't teach you astronomy. If they teach you astronomy, they got to confess YAHOSHUA as king. They must confess YAHOWAH as the king and the creator. They can't teach astronomy. That's what they can't do. All over the world, I don't care how many classes you take, they all bullshit. Then none of them are teaching astronomy. They can't do it. Because as soon as they attempt it, they gotta confess a creator. Ain't no accidents up there. That ain't no result of no explosion going on up there. Planets ain't just up there running willy-nilly, flinging through the universe at billions of miles an hour, going through the star system into another galaxy. And man, let me tell y'all something. Boy, they teach you all that and you be sitting in the school just soaking it in like, you know what? I don't even believe my Bible no more. See, they want you to go to hell too. No, baby, believe your Bible and cuss them out. That's all. You don't have to forsake the script. For the stars, Yah made them. And that's what, if you study astronomy, not astrology, you're going to come up with one explanation. Yah made that stuff up there. He made it all, but he for sure made it up there. Oh my. Not only did he make it, he controls it. Can I say it like this? It obeys him. And he told it what to do and when to do it for us. For who? Israel. We're supposed to always look up. For what? Our feast days. Our appointed times. We're supposed to look up all time to learn the blessings. We're supposed to be looking up to discover his glory, to discover his finger work. That was supposed to be something that was a part of our lives. But because they mixed astrology, our people was afraid to even look at the sky. But then you got witches among us. Oh yeah, I'm going there. We got witches. They live among us. Some of them in your house right now. Some of them in your room. Some of y'all married to a witch. You just don't know it. What are you talking about? They worship the stars. Ask them what a Capricorn is. Ask them what a Sagittarius is. Ask them what zodiac sign that you're born under are not compatible with each other, and watch them give you an answer like this. Ask them. Ask them why this person's acting like this based on their zodiac. And these Negroes and these witches can answer you so fast, you be like, damn. Oh yeah, because if you're Sagittarius, it's because of da-da-da-da. And if you're Aries, it's because of da-da-da-da-da. And I ain't never gonna be hanging around with no. And you be like, how in the hell do you know this shite? And you don't know the Bible. Because they don't worship the Bible, they worship the stars. These niggas are studying crystal balls. These people got the name of the stars written on their wrist, on their shoulder, on their back, some of them on their face. They worship astrology. They won't do certain things because they think that I check my horoscope and I don't know what sign you is, and then ask you, what sign are you? And I was trying to stop. It's hard when a person puts me in a weird place like that. First of all, you can't see this gray. The gray ought to make you just not say certain things to me. If you see brown skin and gray hair, certain questions is off limits. Because you are assuming that I'm into Satan worship with you. And you trying to figure out what branch of the Satanism I'm connected to. And that is fighting to me. So I don't know what to do about that. Believe. I can't go to hell for you, and I can't go to jail either. Every one of those witches know every single thing about that zodiac, I promise you. They know who is compatible and who's not and why. They know what sign is moody, what sign is stingy, what sign is loving, what sign is patient, what sign is... And you'll be like, God, what the hell they get this shit from? They study it. Well, you trying to... And some of you Hebrew men, you so messed up, I pray for y'all all the time. Because a lot of times... Brothers, you don't have no idea. And it can go both ways, but a lot of times, brothers, you don't know nothing about your woman and what she's looking at and what she's studying. You think it's fun and games to her. That stuff ain't fun and game. She believe it with all her heart. Then you done told your family, look, we're going to do Torah now. And you go off to work and come back, them niggas got tarot cards. When you come back, boy, they playing Ouija boards. Talking about it ain't no big deal. But you come back, boy, they got all kind of astronomy and astrology things all around the house. We dealing with wickedness. I'm trying to tell you. They don't teach you astronomy, which is the actual study of the planets and things like that, the stars and all that. They don't teach you that. But they will teach you, this represents this. And the people believe that this planet did this, and Mars was this, and Jupiter was this, and the sun was this. And then everybody knows all that stuff. Why you bring that out more, right? Because number one, these aren't the original names of these constellations. That's not the original name of these stars. These stars are Hebraic. They got Hebrew names. Yah named them. That's not my sermon today. I just want to show you something. But the stars above your head and above my head were never made for us to worship them. As a matter of fact, it is against the Torah for us to consult any star about anything. We can't bow down and worship nothing up there. As a matter of fact, I don't even think we understand the word worship, which is on my schedule to preach today. So I see my time is almost out, so I'm going to have to go faster. But I had to show you that because you all don't realize how deep we have been pushed into Satanism. We've been pushed into this European garbage of moon and sun and star worship. Because that's what happened at what? Saturnalia. It was their annual festival worship of the star Saturn, which they believe is Satan's star. Odin is Satan. Santa Claus is Satan. It's the God, their God. The reindeers knew. There used to be a goat. The goat he would ride is called Baphomet. He would ride, Satan would ride the goat. He would be looking to see who's naughty and nice or whatever. But remember, listen to what they give him as an attribute. They say he can see you when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so you better be good. Why? Because that is their God. It's not a joke to them. And then they tried to blend Saturnalia and the worship of the stars, Satan, Baphomet, with the birth of Hamashiach. Do you see how sickening and gross that is now? When you really study the Bible, that ain't what preach more. That's not what Balaam said. Balaam's talking about this is a king. And this king is going to rise up, which means born. He'll be born the king. You don't have to be voted in. He don't have to be chosen. He won't be coordinated. He's going to be born the king. And just like his star will just appear in the physical, in the heavens, he too, as a man, will just appear. Preach more. I gotta go. Woo, I gotta get out the room. He's just gonna show up. As what? The king. He'll just show up as the king. You still following the moral? I know I took you through a lot, but if you still following the moral, would you be so kind as to put another, where we at? You know what? Put a 700,000 in the chat, please. Put a 700,000. And those of you who know that this information is good, and you know that you haven't, that you're being encouraged, you should even wait till the video is over. You should have already sent your tithe and sent your offering because you're being fed. So there's a king coming, according to Balak. He's going to judge the world. He's going to run everything. He'll have dominion. He'll be a star that's coming out of Jacob, which is a divinely constructed. It'll be a royal constellation that will rise up at the time that this king rises up. It'll be at the same time. Now, just because of time, I'm gonna skip Daniel for now. I'll come back to him if I got time. If I don't, we'll do it in another video. I got to skip Daniel because I know everybody understands the Babylon. So when Daniel, but I'm just going to say it though. When Daniel is in Babylon and he's speaking of the Ancient of Days, and he's speaking about the king of the house of Israel, and he's speaking about like the stone that's hewn out the mountain that crushes the beast. And he talks about the Ancient of Days, as I mentioned before, and you get the vision and all that. One of the things that Daniel does is he gives us numbers. So the question that comes up is, what are these numbers for? Ain't no calculators and no cell phones, no computers, right? So now these numbers have to be interpreted by stars. So the times that Daniel is teaching are not based on your computer or your phone or your watch. When Daniel gives you times, these times of the coming of the Messiah and when he'll be cut off and then raised from the dead and rule, all of those times are according to the stars. Yes, no astrology here. This is astronomy now. This is just the stars themselves doing what they're supposed to do. There will be a constellation that's going to show up, and he gives you the numbers of when. Watch for that. Because at that particular time will be the same time that the prophecy of Balaam will come true. But YAHOSHUA Balaam is going to start coming true right then. So that's when we were in where? Babylon. Where is Babylon? East Africa, when we were in captivity there. And so for 70 years or more, these people were educated in Torah. Daniel was exalted to next in line of the king. And his brethren were also exalted to next in line to Daniel. So this information was already out there among the East. Okay? That is what they call Middle East. We don't give a damn about what these Europeans call it. It's really East Africa. They already had the information. Guess who the only people that didn't have it? Okay, I gotta go. Who, Murray? The European. He don't know nothing about this book. I keep telling you. Everybody else knows what's going on except Herod, who works for Rome. The Roman Empire, they don't know nothing about this either. They can't put this together. They can't see this. Your pastor and your preachers can't see this. I'm showing you something that they can't see. They can't see this. They're like, no, it's just a nice little story. You put a star on top of your tree. Don't even understand what that is either. I know I got short legs in here, but that star on top of that phallus is ejaculation. That's why you light it. After you've been getting the gifts and all that kind of stuff, stimulation, it's all sexual stuff. And then you light the star as the sexual stimulation and satisfaction that's taking place in Satanism. And that's the highlight of the whole thing. And then you sing to it. They so far away from this, they have no idea what really was going on. And the more we're going to tell you the truth. They said, we've seen his star. We saw it. We saw the royal constellation of stars. We saw his divinely inspired. We saw what Balaam said, and we put that together with what Daniel said, and we were in the East when we saw it, which means what? We had to be looking west because the star didn't rise in the East. We saw his star in the East. We saw it rising from where we were, which is the East. Right? Because you do notice, when you look up in the sky, it ain't just sitting there, it's moving, right? But they knew, they said, wait, hold on now. This is the one we've been looking for all these years. And they said, and I'm not going to finish. And they said, and we are come, and the reason we here, what's the reason you're here? To worship him. Wait, what? What the heathen had you doing, or had our people doing a couple days ago? They had you worshiping Satan, Saturn, Saturnalia. They had you worshiping a phallus in that tree, and those gifts represented genitals. I'm not getting into that whole thing. It's sickening. I've been telling y'all that. That whole scenario is a satanic festival of debauchery, right? I had Yahrahn cracking up. I said, Yahrahn, this not even about pink Jesus, really. Because the one place that nobody wants to go on Christmas is church. They don't want to go to no church on Christmas. Why? They want to be with them gifts and them presents. They want to be with their boats and hoes. They want to be getting drunk, getting high, getting loaded. They want to be out freaking and carrying on. They don't want to be, this ain't about, that whole thing ain't got nothing to do with praising the King, worshiping our King, giving our lives to our King. No, because again, it ain't even about that anyway. So what is it about? That's about Saturnalius, different. When you read the Bible, this is not Saturnalia. When you read the Bible, this is biblical covenant fulfillment. The covenant is being fulfilled here. The promise of Yah that was given to a wicked preacher, and he couldn't lie about his own demise, is now being fulfilled. The King is coming. The star is rising, which means it's over for everybody else. Once this King shows up here, every other king is out of here. They're done. That's the prophecy. And we're from the east. We came to the west because we want the world to know that we with him. Yeah. We are pledging our allegiance to the whole world. Herod, we don't give a damn about you. That's for damn sure. Pilate, we don't care about you either. And you old nasty Caesar Tiberius, you wicked, nasty scum of the earth, you satanic pedophile, you murderous blood-letting dog. We don't care about you neither. We are not on none of y'all side. Well, whose side you on? This King. We saw it. Where is he? We on the side of the one born King. And we are pledging our allegiance to him even though he's still a baby. That's what they won't teach you in the church. Because they worship Caesar. They got the tree in the house. They have the same phallus in the church. They got the star on the top. They got the present. How can they say we're worshiping the King and making a choice, but you've already given your choice over to him when you bow down to him in your house and in your buildings? You bow down to Satan. You bow down to the white man, or to the pink man. You bow down to his God. You participated in his rituals. You ate his food. You prayed his prayers. You rejected the actual Bible, and you know it. You made a choice. You heard me preach, and I told you that it was satanic. And then you went and heard the heathen say something, and you chose the heathen. So you are unwise. You are a fool. You chose wrong. You sneak listening. You know what's watching the more. You chose wrong. The wise men didn't show up to break the Torah. These wise men that caravan from the east, and there were probably hundreds of them. It may have been 1,000, but it's hundreds. Forget that picture of 3 people. Ain't what happened at all. This is a caravan that got the attention of a king. When a caravan come riding in that big, the king himself was like, who is these niggas? And they said, these are some of the smartest men in the world. They're from the east. I said, what do they want? They say, hey, see his star. Who? The one born king. So what happens immediately? Herod knowing that if he's born king, because Herod is illegitimate, he's like, if he's born king, then that means it's over for me. You damn right it's over for you. Just like every other king in this world. You better know it's over for you. Once he was born king, ain't no more kings here. Every king after that is illegitimate. He is the king of the world. He is the king of kings and the master of masters. Yes, you are illegitimate and you're about to die. And you're going into the judgment and you're going to hell. Yes, everything. This prophecy came true, which sealed your doom. It sealed your destiny. It sealed your place in the pit of hell. You can't be a king and he's the king. You illegitimate and you know it. That's what this book is about. That's what this story is about. We came to worship him. What does that word mean? So, shachah in Hebrew is a very interesting word because in scripture we see shachah used when people bow, watch, to Yahuwah. More. The word is used when people bow before Yahuwah. Number two, it is used when people bow before their king. So you have a very interesting word here when you put it together. The word they use, which is shachah, is, we ain't thinking about you, Herod, or nobody else. We're not even thinking about the kings of Babylon. We all left. We left Babylon. So what are you thinking about? This one. He's him. He's him. And the word means that we have pledged our allegiance already to him. And we've proven our allegiance to him by traveling, which could have taken years. And we traveling here and we ain't coming here empty-handed. I keep telling my people when we turn to the king, you're going to find out something. You don't come to the king without a gift. You got to bring your tithes. You got to bring your offering. That's where we are today. They had to bring gold, frankincense, myrrh, and any other thing that the caravan had. They didn't think about that as a last minute before they got here. No, before they left on the caravan, they already had their offering ready. I got too many verses. I got to get out the room. But there's a bunch of verses that tell us that we don't come before him without bringing our offering to our king. We do that. The same exact word is used in Genesis chapter 25 Genesis chapter 22. And of course, we know that story is when Abraham says, we're going up to worship, right? So that's the same picture. Let's get to the close because we got to see why this matters. You two froze on me again. Let's see why this matters. And when Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Why? Because the real king is coming. It bothers him, just like it's bothering these churches. It's bothering these pastors when we preach this message. It bothers the city. It bothers the state. It bothers the community. It bothers everybody when we teach about the king. It bothers the White House. It bothers the crack house. It bothers everybody. Yes, the whole world is troubled because we're teaching the truth. And when Herod the king had heard the thing, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and the scribes, the sellouts. Ain't that, I want to say it so bad, but ain't this a shame? He got the chief priests and the scribes of the people together and demanded, who are you? You're going to tell me where the Messiah is supposed to be born? Oh, so you know there's a Messiah. Oh, so you're a liar too. And you know you're not him. Oh, okay. So your preacher knows too. Your pastors know this. Your governors, your city officials, your presidents, your House of Representatives, your Senate, and your Supreme Court. All y'all know that Hamashiach is the real king, but you still gonna act like you are. So what is his resolve? They said in verse 5, they said to him, he asked, he demanded, where will Hamashiach be born? They said unto him, in Bethlehem. Oh, so they know scripts too. Everybody faking, huh? And then they quoted the verse. For it's written by the prophet, who? Micah. They even knew the verse. And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Yehudah, thou art least among the princes of Yehudah, for out of thee shall come what? A governor. There it is. Same thing Balaam said, which is the same thing that David says in the Psalms. I don't have time today. Same exact thing that Isaiah says in his prophecy. The same thing that Daniel's going to say in his prophecy. They all are in agreement that he's going to be a governor, and what? He will rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, he called them in and said, hey man, well, when did you see it? Wait, the king called in the wise men? Now again, I think that the wise men were sort of kind of like I was when I woke up to the truth. They were like, oh, well, this is cool. Maybe our waking up to his star and coming here was a witness. And maybe our witness, we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yah, because the king actually took notice of us. And the king actually asked us to come to the palace. So they thinking positive, like, wow, Jerusalem is about to receive their real king. Even the king wants to know where the one that's born king is. And they probably got a little excited. Somebody said, I'm buffering. Ain't that something? You heathens. Won't let me finish, huh? Y'all cold for that. He said, when Herod had privately called the wise men, he asked them diligently, saying, but what time the star appeared? And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again. Watch. That I might come and worship him also. Do you see that? So he's saying, let me know where he is so that I can bow down and give my allegiance to him and bring my offerings to him. You see that? But I gotta get out the room because it's buffering. They're not gonna let me finish. I don't know why YouTube does this to me. It's trying to help people see the Bible. It's trying to help people see the Bible. Preachers and pastors won't show them. They don't know the stuff I'm teaching. But they try to dig into Numbers or Deuteronomy. Boy, they'd be so lost. They try to dig into Isaiah prophecies, Daniel. They try to get into them Psalms. They try to get into the real prophecies of because they believe that the Old Testament been done away with. They can't handle this kind of preaching at all. And YouTube, I don't know why you do me like this. I'm just teaching my people the Bible. This is the Bible. It's about a king, our king. Watch it says. He said he was going to worship. The question is, did he? Was it true? Just exactly like these preachers and pastors that are working for the empire today. Hey, brother, I do want to talk to you, brother, man. What you seeing, man? What you seeing, brother? And you're like, oh, you're going to worship the king too? Man, just let me know, man, what you... Oh, so you can go back and tell the enemy. You're trying to get ammunition to try to fight against the Israelites that's waking up to the truth. And because we want you to see the truth so bad, we're about to tell you. Boy, I saw pastors backpedaling so bad this year, boy. I even saw a pastor put up a picture of black Jesus talking about, we gonna worship the name of Jesus. Nigga, you going to hell. Still doing Christmas and made a black Jesus with the law done away with. Going to hell. They done had meetings. How we gonna come back with the Israelites and say, don't worry about what we're saying. Don't worry about what we're saying. Worry about where we're getting it from. We're getting it out the book. That's your problem. I can say anything. The problem is I'm getting it here, and you can't do it. I'm just talking to the preachers and pastors and sneak listening. You can't do this. You'll get fired, and you know it, and you're a hireling. And because you work for hire, you obey man more than Yah. You will go to hell, but you can get some Stacy's while you're here. You can get some alligator shoes. You can have boats. You can have hoes. You can promote your fraternities, your sororities, and all that. Do whatever you want. You can be whatever you do. You just understand though. There is a judge. It's my message. And when they heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. What kind of star is that? That's boy, it's Yah. Come on now. What? They was like, okay, which way do we go? They touched each other and then look up. Wait, what? It's taking us to the exact spot without GPS. I gotta go. No GPS. But it's just gonna mark the spot. You are here. Your king is here. And they followed it. When they saw the star, they rejoiced. What star? The star that Balaam talked about. When they saw the star, which is the king, they rejoiced with exceeding joy. And when they came into the house, they saw where the young child with Miriam, not Mary from Europe, Miriam from the house of Israel, his mother, and fell down and did what they came to do. They came and worshiped. And when you worship, they pledge their allegiance to him, to keep the Torah, to walk in covenant, to obey the law, statutes, and the commandments. They fell down and worshiped him. And when they opened their treasures, they presented unto him, not to Miriam, not to Joseph, not to each other, like these heathens are doing, giving gifts to each other. What? I told you all, they don't know nothing about the Bible. They presented him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. And watch this. And being warned of Yah in a dream, which means they was on one accord. It was given out by Yah praise. And Yah had to tell them in a dream, hey, Herod full of shite. He don't want to worship. He wants to stay king, stay in control. He wants his dominion. He's not with you. He's not for you. He's lying. Don't go back that way. These Europeans are lying. These pink people are lying. These pastors are lying. All these religious leaders are lying. All this commercialism, everything that they're doing is wickedness. They don't really want the king. They don't want to bow down to the lion of the tribe of Yehudah. If they could, they would erase him completely, just like they're trying to do now. But because I'm way over time, I'm going to have to pick. I'm going to do a part 2. I'm going to do a part 2. Our Messiah, YAHOSHUA, born the king. The king then requires allegiance and obedience to the king. It also threatens every other kingdom that, according to the prophecies, fall because of this king. Who? Our king. He rules. I gotta go. I will pick this up, but before I go, he's alive. I keep telling y'all, he died, yeah, but a death did not kill him. And he's not in a crypt. He's not in a grave. The grave can't hold our king. And that's why they're so scared. I'll pick that up in the next one. Y'all let me back in the room. We'll pick it up in the next one. Then you're going to find out why Pilate said, yeah. Put a watch around there. Tighten it up as tight as you can. Why? Because I just found out something. Is he the one? Oh, yeah, too late, bud. Going to hell. I'll finish it if y'all let me back in the room. Support the work of the ARK through the tithe and the offering. I gotta go. Appreciate y'all. The world will be judged by a king. And the Bible proves YAHOSHUA is that final judge. He's the king. Hallelujah. 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 Shalom, shalom, shalom. I'm just caught up. Woo! We have a king. And one of these days, he's coming back. I don't care what they say. He's coming to restore his remnant. Hallelujah. So I revive for them 1 million in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Pray for me. And I will pray for you. Mm, mm.